Ken Ham has turned his back on Donald Trump. Ken Ham, of course, not officially ever endorsing parties, they've been pro-Republican. They've had Donald Trump impersonators involved in some of their videos and events. They're incredibly pro-Republican. But man, so Ken Ham tweeted this a couple days ago. Donald Trump, along with other Republicans and Democrats, have applauded the bill that redefines marriage. Doesn't like it. They are shaking their fist at God and helping undermine the family unit God created to pass on a godly legacy to subsequent generations and impacting the world for Christ. They have no fear from God. Yes, we love our neighbors as ourselves, but we don't condone that which is contrary to God's clear word. There's only one true marriage, the marriage God created, one man and one woman. He is turning his back on Donald Trump. Now, part of me wonders that if Donald Trump was doing better in the polls, and maybe it didn't look like DeSantis might be the nominee, that's all stuff as a Canadian I can't weigh in on too heavily. But I do wonder if Donald Trump really was the front runner, if Ken Ham was willing to burn these bridges, because we all know he's relying on the financial backs of people who want to support him in this. Ken Ham is all about creating us versus them. And if he can even put Donald Trump in the them camp, the people who are threatening God, and honestly, thank goodness, someone is finally noticing that Donald Trump isn't the champion of Christian virtue that perhaps people thought he was in 2016 and 2020. Anyway, so let's look at the article, Politico article, that has Ken Ham so upset. So, scenes from a celebration of same-sex marriage at Mar-a-Lago, and that is, for those of you who don't know, that is one of the residences owned by Donald Trump. And here's a quote from Donald Trump: "We are fighting for the gay community, and we are fighting and fighting hard." So much going on here. So I'm excited that Ken Ham and Trump are splitting ways. I'm excited if Christians would notice that Trump isn't for them. At the same time, this is actually quasi-exciting because the tides have turned so much in America now that someone who is attempting to get the Republican nomination is now thinks it's in their best interest politically. Someone's done the polling, someone's looked at the numbers. Supporting the gay community is now the way to secure your own nomination. So Donald Trump last week had a party at Mar-a-Lago where literally hundreds of guests were dancing to YMCA and the Macho at a Spirit of Lincoln gala in the ballroom of Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago beachfront was a joyous celebration of gay rights. In a case of ironic timing, the historic same-sex law signed by Joe Biden days earlier. Yeah, this is great news, right? So even the Republicans are perhaps, so we're going to hear it from Fox News, and we're going to hear it from Ken Ham, we're going to hear it from the fundamentalists for a while, that they are no rail against the same-sex marriage law that had passed recently. They're gonna give it lip service to rail against that for a while. But even the Republicans, even someone looking after the nomination, who is savvy enough to play to the religious right at every turn, are now just straight up having a gay rights party at Mar-a-Lago. So in this case, Ken Ham alerted me, and oddly, this is the only article I can find on this. Now, maybe if I lived in the States, I would be able to find more, but oddly, the Fox Newses and the various places have not jumped on the fact that Donald Trump is openly having a party celebrating gay rights. I think they're still hedging their bets. They still want to keep this guy clean. They still want to be able to go either way, just in case he does win that nomination and needs the base to back him up. But good for Ken Ham. Ken Ham stuck to his guns here in his own terrible, terrible way and is denouncing Donald Trump. So, I don't know, which one is the deplorable? Is Ken Ham the deplorable? Or is Donald Trump the deplorable? Or is it a draw? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chats. Which of these two, maybe we don't support either, but it's fun to see them going after themselves. And once again, Mar-a-Lago is a hotel and resort. Trump has a residence at Mar-a-Lago, but it's not his residence in the way that would mean that any event going on would connect with him. No, but he literally spoke at the event. So if I go back, he didn't necessarily speak, and I'm not sure if there was some debate about this in the chat, but if we go to the article, the main attraction at the event obviously was Trump. He received a standing ovation after delivering an enthusiastic affirmation of gay rights, not often heard in the GOP. Here's what Trump said, and I'm not going to imitate him, but this is what Trump said. "We are fighting for the gay community, and we are fighting and fighting hard. With the help of many of the people here tonight in recent years, our movement has taken incredible strides. The strides you've made here is incredible. So those were the words of Donald Trump at this event. Again, at the top of the article, they had another brief quote: "We are fighting for the gay community. We are fighting and fighting hard," said Donald Trump himself. So I'm not sure if that was a bit of a confusion, but Trump himself was being affirming. So those are going to be sound bites that people can play. If you're actually on the left, and if Trump became the nominee, if you're a Democrat, that might be something you want to keep in your pocket to actually include in ads. Hey, look, Donald Trump is really just woke in disguise. The woke orange man who's trying to just use Christianity when he doesn't really mean it.